Welcome back to Hops and Hay and Cattle. Today I'm going to be doing a review on our Kubota BV4160 round baler. So let's get started. This is our Kubota BV4160. This is the premium model. I know there's a silage special model, and I think there may be a crop cutter model, but this is a premium. And what the premium has that just a regular baler don't have is twine system. We have removed the twine box off of this baler because we don't ever use twine, but there's the we do run net in it, of course, if y'all seen. The net system on this baler works really good. I really do love this net system. This is the best net system we've seen. It's pretty easy to thread. There's a diagram right there that shows you how to do it. But what you do is it comes off the roll of net, and it comes off the top. You always want it coming off the top. And then it goes under this roller, over this roller up in here, and then it goes down through what's called the duck bill. And it goes through, and then it just hangs through, and then as the knife extends down, it comes down into here. It goes right in there, right under them belts, and it goes into the baler. And then the net, your roll of hay catches the net, and then it starts wrapping, and when the knife comes back up, it trips up and cuts the net. This right here is the brake on it. If you can watch in the cab, whenever the net goes to start, this raises up just a little bit off of the roll, and then it'll start spinning. And when it goes to cut, this closes down on it, and then the knife trips. The knife cuts and this closes down at the same time, cutting the net. This wheel right here counts that's what counts how many feet it's putting on, and I can show you on the monitor. It will tell you how many feet of net wrap you've used on however many rolls you've rolled. This here's the drive shaft, just like any other baler. It does have 4 hydraulic lines. It requires 2 rear remotes. These 2 here, this one and this one, run the baler door, and then this is the pickup, and this is for the pickup. And it does have a valve on it right here, so you can lock the pickup up. I'm gonna open the baler door and show y'all under the door. This baler does have a little bit of dirt on it under here. We don't like washing our round balers, or either of our balers, not even the square baler. We do wash the outside of them and the doors and stuff, but we don't like washing under the doors because it gets water in the bearings, and then when water gets in them bearings, they will rust and cause you to have bearings go out. I'm going to take this cover off. I done took it loose, but as you can see here, this baler does have covers here. As you can see, you remove this cover and this one, and these chains drive the augers on the pickup. You can see the auger out there. This chain drives that auger, and then there's a chain on the other side that drives the other auger. Right here is where you can store extra rolls of net wrap. You can put one here and one up here. We always just put one down here because we don't ever need that many rolls of net on the baler. Because the net we can run usually 230 to 250 rolls through one roll of net, but we don't roll no more than that a day, so we usually don't need but one roll. But you can store 2 if you need to, and it's got these straps. That's what holds the net on. Holds the rolls of net on the baler, keeps them from bouncing off. Right under here is the pickup. These tines that are on this pickup are the teeth that came on the baler. We've not had to replace any pickup teeth on this baler, and none of them are broke. There is a few that are loose that are going to have to be tightened up before hay season, but I think this baler, I looked a while ago, it's got 9,227 rolls, I think. Pretty sure, I know it's 9,200 and something, but it's got grease fitting here. It's got a grease fitting right here. This cylinder here is what raises your baler door up. There's one on both sides. And then down here is your door latch, and there's 2 grease fittings on it. There is a grease fitting right under here, right there. There's a grease fitting. They do have these stickers that show you where grease fittings are located. And there's 2 under the bottom of this baler. I'll see if I can get under here and show y'all. But you can see them 2 grease fittings. There's one right there, one right here, and one right there. The reason I showed y'all them grease fittings is because the guy that brought our baler out to the field and set it up, he did not tell us where them grease fittings were. He didn't tell us about them, and we didn't know there was grease fittings under there. And after 2 days of running it, we run about 250 rolls through it. It started squeaking, and it sounded like a bearing was out in it. Well, we finally found them 2 grease fittings under the baler there, and they had not been getting grease because we didn't know they were there. So when all the grease worked out of them, then they started squeaking. All of the bearings on this baler are sealed bearings. There's not any grease fittings on them. Normally, we would prefer bearings with grease fittings on them so that you can grease them, but we've had really good luck out of these bearings on this baler. I think we've replaced 2 or 3. Pretty sure we've replaced 2 that went out, and then we replaced a couple of more because some hay got in behind them and we knew it was going to eat them up, so we went ahead and replaced them. But 9,200 rolls, and we've only had 2 go out, so that's pretty good. Which I know the ones that we've replaced may have went out too, but if we hadn't replaced them when we did. But there is still some bearings on this baler that came on the baler, and they've got 9,200 rolls on them, and they're still rolling. This bearing right here we haven't changed. It's been on there ever since the baler was new. We'll go around to the other side now. There's your tail lights, as you can see there. It's got a slow moving sign on it. It does have a bell ramp on, a spring loaded bell ramp. I like these bell ramps. I would much rather have a bell ramp than I would a kicker like John Deere balers have. And I think some Massey Ferguson balers have them. One thing with this kicker is on our New Holland baler, the kicker, or it's not a kicker, ramp, not kicker. It comes out like this and then it turns up. Well, this one just comes straight out, and we've noticed on hills, even if it's just a little hill where a roll of hay will sit there, if you don't back up the hill a little bit before you kick it out, it'll roll back against this ramp and push the ramp down, and then your baler door hits it. And that's why that slow moving sign's gotten bent like that from hanging a roll of hay. Because you can't see nothing back here when you're sitting in the tractor seat. That New Holland baler though, the way that ramp turns up, it don't do that, or we've never had it happen. Got grease fittings on this side. This is the other baler door cylinder. 2 more grease fittings there, just like the other side. There's not grease fittings under the bottom on this side, just on that one side. There is a grease fitting right up in there. And it's easier to get to it if you take this cover off, but I just took these off here. And there's a grease fitting right here. you can't see it, it's not facing out right now, but there's a grease fitting right there that greases that. And then there's grease fittings right under here, right here, on this arm that adjusts the pickup. This is the other chain that runs the auger on this side. Over here is where most of the chains are. Like this big chain here runs all the way up over the top right there, and that's what drives the belts in the baler. And then it comes all the way back down and around, back up to here. You can see there's chains down in there that drive. I'm pretty sure this chain is the one that drives the starter roller in the baler. Then there's another little chain right down there that drives this chain and this one. This chain is what drives the pickup on the baler. And then it drives this chain here, which drives the auger. All of these chains have been on this baler since we bought it. So they've all got about 9,200 rolls on them. This chain here is probably going to have to get replaced this year. As you can see here, it's starting to wear so bad that it's not wanting to line up on this sprocket. And we did have that jump off a couple of times this year. We're probably going to have to put a new chain there this year. Here's your pickup tires. And you can pull this pin out right here. I can't do it now because I've got it sitting on the ground, but you can pull this pin out here and you can easily select a different hole. As you can see all these holes, and you can adjust the height of the pickup. I really do like that. On our New Holland baler, you have to loosen up a bolt in order to adjust the pickup height. With this one, you can just pull out that pin and move it to a different hole. If you want to raise the pickup up, then you let the pickup tires down, or if you want to let the pickup down, then you can just raise the tires up a hole and it'll let it down just a little bit. Right here's the brains of the baler. Right here's where all of the wires run to from all over the baler, and then they run from here to the monitor in the tractor cab. If there's string on this baler, which this one did have it on it, but we took it off, there'll be a twine box right here. Be a big twine box right here. I think it holds 8 balls of twine. We took that off last year because we never did use it, and it was just collecting dust sitting in there. The boxes were getting full of hay. So we just took it off, and it allows you to get to all of this easier because that big box ain't right here. And for the twine, string runs over these rollers right here, and then it runs down into here, I believe, and goes in there to the twine arms. There is grease fittings right in here. If you can see, there's a grease fitting right there at the end of my finger, and then there's one on the other side too. And that's for the net system. They usually don't take but a few pumps, but we do grease them once a day. We grease the whole baler every day. We blow it off and grease it. We like to keep them clean because if there's not quite as much hay on them, it's less of a fire hazard if a bearing goes out or something. These 2 wires right here run up into the cab for the monitor. This is for the lights on the back, and they run up in the cab. Normally we run them up in right there, but since I was just hooking this up to do this, I just run them up through the window and hooked them up. I'm gonna raise the baler door up, and I'll let y'all see under the door and show y'all inside of there. Now I've got the baler door raised up. There's a valve right here that you can lock the door up with, which you always want to do if you're going to be under the door. You just have to pop it out and then turn it down like that. You always want to lock them if you're going to be under the door. That keeps the door from being able to come down on you. But as you can see under here, this baler's got 5 belts on it. It's got these 2 rollers right here, and the net wrap comes right through these 2 right here. That's where the net wrap feeds through in. And then it's got this roller here, and then here's the starter roller. One thing with this baler, which it's not that big a deal, but a bunch of hay will get up in here, up in the belts up in here. As you can see, there's this little, where the belts come down under that roller and then go back up. It's a little corner in here. Hay does get up in there, and it'll get down right into here, and then it won't allow your knife to come all the way up in here where your net will catch a roll of hay. And we have to get out and clean it out sometimes, but you clean that hay out of it and it'll go right back to work, working like it's always, working like a charm. Like I said, the net system on this baler does work really good. The only time it doesn't work is if a bunch of hay gets in here and don't allow the knife to come down far enough for the hay to catch the net. The hay does get down in here like this, as you can see here, and it will get into them bearings too if you ain't careful. Normally we try to keep it dug out as much as we can, but as you can see, all up in there is under the door. I would like to put a camera in here so y'all can watch a roll of hay being made when I'm baling hay, but I'm afraid I'll fool around and lose a camera in there. But I may try that this summer. This pickup wheel here is the same as the other one, where you can pull these pins out and select a different hole for your pickup. And there's one more thing I want to show y'all on the baler that I can think of is, for a while we always pulled this pin out and slid this pin in, and it comes under right here, and this right here would set down on it, and that's how we would loosen the belts up. But there's one thing I figured out that I'll show y'all. Let me get in the tractor and I'll show y'all, bring y'all back around here where y'all can see how the belts loosen up. I'm gonna show y'all this because we didn't know this until I was messing with it one day and I pushed the pickup lever too far. Pushed the pickup lever down and it loosened the belts up. But crank the tractor up, and this lever here is the pickup. Well, I'm gonna push it. See the pickup, I just picked it up, and now I'm gonna let the pickup down. And when the pickup gets all the way down, if you will hold the lever a little bit for a few seconds. Now if you come look back here, now you can see how loose the belts are. See how they're drooped down now instead of being tight, and see how floppy they are. What it does is this cylinder right here pushes that arm up, which pushes this roller right here up, and that pushes that roller up and allows your belts to get slack because the roller ain't pulling down on them right here, tightening them up. And then you've got plenty of room to get in here and clean the baler out. Whereas before we figured that out, you would put this pin in, and then you have to close the baler door down, and then you don't hardly have any room to get in here and clean the baler out. Well, now that we figured that out, you can do that, and then you've got all the room you need to get in there. You ain't got to be all crammed up in the baler trying to clean it out. Now I'm going to unlock the baler door here. Now we'll go close the door. And in order to bring this back down, you just push the tailgate lever and it'll bring that down, and then the baler door will start closing. Now, if you look, I'm going to push this in the float and let it go. And as you can see, the baler door is closing. And then you hear it slam shut when it gets all the way down. And it's latched in. You can leave the lever in float and go on rolling hay, and you can leave it in float. And I really do like that, because when you're rolling hay, you just pull the lever back and you raise the baler door up. But when it gets all the way up, then you just lock it in float and you can let it go. And when it closes, the monitor will beep telling you you can take off again. Okay, so when you first turn the monitor on, this is what you see. So now if you press this button right here, as you can see, there's a line going to the unlock button. Now it will take you to what you see whenever you're rolling hay. The 25.6 is your bale size, and obviously there's nothing in the baler. That's just what it starts at. When it gets up to that 25.6, then it starts counting up. And when it gets to the black line right here, it will beep 3 times saying that the bale is 90% full. That's what the 3 beeps mean. That's letting you know that you're fixing to have to stop and kick out a roll of hay. Right here, see, y'all see that black line? It's what this camera's doing whenever I try to record it. See? Maybe y'all can see right there. I'll try to keep the black lines out of it. So right here, it's 10% moisture. That's just what we have it set at. You can set it 10%, 30%, or 60%. It doesn't read the moisture, that's just what you set it at. Right here is your bale count. There's 0 on it because it was cleared last time we baled. And then right here is your how many inches your roll is. It's what we got the max bale set at, is 59.8 inches. So whenever, well, that black line is back. Anyway, and then the 2.0 here, that's how many wraps we've got it set at to wrap a roll of hay, is 2 wraps. And you can set it, you can change it however to whatever you want it set at. And if you say you get done baling a field, if you need to wrap a partial roll, you can press this button right here and it'll automatically start wrapping. And then it'll put 2 wraps on it and cut it, just like if you was rolling a full roll of hay. This right here is, you can change it from automatic to manual mode by just pressing this button. See, if you see the A there, that means automatic. Now if I press the button, it'll go to the hand. That means manual. You can run it whichever way you like to. I always run it in automatic. And even with it in automatic, you can still use the start button to start wrapping a roll of hay. This right here is, you have to press this button in order to load the net wrap. You have to press this button and it raises the net break up, as I showed you earlier, that bar that went across the net. And it'll raise it up. Lines are back. There we go. And this button right here will zero the counter out. So, say you get through baling the field and you go to bale somebody else, you can press =0 and it'll clear this right here. Okay, now we'll go back to the home page. And I'm going to press, if you see right here, you see that this is the net wrap symbol, and then there's a twine symbol right beside that. If you press it, see, now it changed to the twine symbol, so now you can roll with twine. But we always roll with net wrap, but you can change it. This is a As I said earlier, this is a premium model, so it's got net and twine. And if you click on this one right here, the line going to the roll of hay, you see it takes you to here. And here's where I was talking about 10, 30, and 60% moisture. There's 10s, you can see it flashing. That's because that's what's selected. Now, if I press the down arrow right here, now if you look, there's a dotted line around the 31.5 inches. Now, if I keep pressing it, now it's down to 59.8 inches. And that's what we've got it set at to roll a... By the time we get stopped, it'll be a 5-foot roll of hay, which will be a 4x5. And in order to change that, you just press the check mark. And now, as you see there, 59.8 inches. If you press the down button, you can bump it down. Or you can press the up button and bump it up. And it will go all the way up to 65 inches. And then you can set it to wherever you want it at. And then you just press the check mark. Now, as you can see there, now it's a polka dotted line around 2,335 PSI. That's what we've got the pressure set for the outside part of the roll. And then 2002, as you can see here, if I press down, now it's to there. That is, trying to get that black line out of there. That's the pressure for the inner part of the bell, not all the way into the core, but between the outside edge and the core. And then if I press down again, now it goes to the core. And if you just press check, now you see it's lit up like that. Now you can turn it up, or you can turn it down. And it's the same way with all of them. Once you figure this monitor out, it's really easy to work. Now I'm going to go down to, now if you see there's a dotted line around 2.0, this is the wraps per roll. Now if I press check, now you can change your wraps. So now see I can turn it up to 2.5 and it'll go all the way up to 9.9 wraps. And I'm going to put it back on 2. And then you just press the check mark and leaves it there. So now I'm going to press this here. You see the arrow pointing back. Now it takes me back to the home page. If I press this button here, you see a wrench right there. If I press on it, now you got work settings. And I can press the down arrow. And now see, there's a dotted line around 0.0 seconds. That's what SEC means, is seconds. That's the delayed time before it starts wrapping whenever it gets a full bell. We've got it set on 0 and it's still delayed a little bit. By the time we get stopped and look back, it's done. It usually starts wrapping then. But you can bump it up to all the way up to 9 seconds, but we leave it on 0, and you may want it delayed more, but we like them to start wrapping as soon as we get stopped. I don't know what this one does. If you see right here, this indicates the knife for the twine, for the net. And you can press this button right here and you can extend the knife out. And you press this one and you can retract it. Like when we're blowing the baler out, sometimes some hay will get caught in there between that knife. It gets down in the front of the baler and it gets pinched. And in order to get it out, we have to extend the knife out in order to unpinch the hay where we can clean it out. We can just get in here and press this button and extend the knife out and clean it out, and then we can retract it. And when you extend it out like this, it will stay out unless you cut the monitor off. I think it'll close itself then. Now we'll go back. Now I'm going to press counters. As you can see, this button here, there's a line pointing over to counters. Now as you can see, it's 0 rolls and 0 feet. That's because it was zeroed. And as you roll, and I can change it, that's another thing too, is if you see the 1 through 5 up here, you can change fields. Like if you see the 1, 2, 3 here with the arrow pointing to the right, if I press this button, now 2 starts flashing. And you see there's 160 6 rolls on it. And then I can press it again, and then 3 will start flashing, and then I can go all the way to 4. And then if I press the button right below it, see the 1, 2, 3 with the arrow pointing to the left, it will go back the other way. If you look right here, the 9,271 rolls, that's how many rolls is on the baler. And 357,372 feet, that's how many feet of net it's put on 9,271 rolls. And then configure buttons. You can change some stuff here, but I don't know anything about that. And then you've got advanced, which that looks like for diagnosing something that may be wrong with it, but we've never had to mess with that. This here you can change, I think you can change the volume of how loud the buzzer is on the monitor, but where it was set from the factory works good for us. One more thing I want to show y'all, just remembered, is this steering wheel right here. This tells you whether or not your bale is level or not. Like if, say, the right side of your bale is smaller than the left side, the steering wheel will turn to the left, telling you to move over to feed more hay into the right side of the baler. And it's the same way, say the left side's smaller, it'll tell you to move over to the right. And that's how the level system works on this baler. And it works pretty good. It's not as accurate as our New Holland baler that's got it's got 2 bars on it like John Deere balers have that keep them level as you're rolling. But it works good for us because usually, most of the time, our windrows are as wide as the pickup on the baler, so we don't have to worry about weaving side to side to keep a bale level. But I think that's everything for the monitor. I'm going to press the home button, and now I'm going to cut the monitor off. One other thing I got for Christmas is a screen. Let me cut it on. I got that for Christmas. It's a rear view camera that goes on the back of the tractor, and you can watch the baler and stuff while you're rolling hay. You can see I've got the camera mounted right there, looking back there at the baler. But alright, we'll flip over into the outro and hope the review of the monitor helped. That's all for this video. I hope this review helped. This has been a really good baler so far. We've got 9,271 rolls on it, and it's been really good. I think this will be our 4th hay season with it. I had to look back on my phone. I've got pictures of it whenever we first got it. But thank y'all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.